Today on Performance TV, the gang from AP Laser are back showing us more uses for their product. Tommy shows us a neat gadget from Thread Wizard, Kathy is applying tire stickers, and Kevin from Tough Country is back to finish up some work started last week. All of this and more coming up on Performance TV.
Welcome to Performance TV. Let's face it, who doesn't want to put their logo on everything or add a personal touch to something, jazz it up a little bit? What better way to do that than with a laser, with Kyle from AP Laser. And I'm telling you, this thing can do just about anything, can't it?
Just about anything. So the AP Laser is the first large format mobile laser machine that can actually process, engrave something as small as a peanut like that. We can do a car door, 2,000-pound granite memorial too as well.
Right, even a casket.
Absolutely.
Now this can do just about anything, whether it be wood, acrylic, metal. It has a lot of possibilities, but what sets the AP Laser apart from the rest?
So it actually is, again, it's the first large format laser machine that can do the small stuff, but we can also do the big stuff. So the great thing about our machine is right now it's set up with the traditional home base or Z-table. If you had to do something large like the door, you can actually remove that bottom piece and you can start engraving those larger items.
Yeah, and it's mobile too. It doesn't have to be in a stationary place. You can take it from shop to shop, or even maybe put it in a vehicle and take it around with you.
Absolutely. We've got customers who travel with the AP Laser in a trailer. They ventilate it out top. They carry a generator with them so they can go from different job site to job site.
Just engraving and
Correct.
Etching stuff, you can also other possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can cut paper, we can cut rubber, we can cut plastic. On acrylic, you can do about a full inch. Woods, depending on the type of wood, 3/8 to about a ½ inch. So processing a lot of different types of materials.
Right. Well, let's check in with Kathy because she's got a whole new technique with the laser.
Well, Tommy, just when you thought all of that was interesting, we have Kathy here with us, Kathy and Kathy Show today, from Powder Coat Finishes. Kathy, you've taken what this machine can do and gone way beyond.
That's right. The traditional with the machine is to cut away that material to create something, which is what we did with this fender flare here. Basically, we're a powder coating company, so we powder coated the flare first, and then we cut the company's logo into that to provide the design that they were looking for.
And then you've kind of saw as like, hey, we can powder coat, maybe put a couple of colors in and just take that color away. That's what you've done here on this valve cover.
Right. With this valve cover, we've layered it so that we can provide a color underneath from the top coat so it shows through even more distinctly.
Okay, so we're seeing where you're still taking away, but you have taken that even one step further and using the AP Laser to add color.
Correct. We've been developing a method that really hasn't been available to powder coating and wouldn't be available to us if it wasn't for the AP Laser. First, we use the laser to engrave whatever logo or pattern we want, and then we use the laser to lay the powder into it.
You know, I'm going to have to say one of my favorite pieces I'm seeing on the table it is the wheel here.
Yeah, we do a lot of car wheels, and this is probably one of my favorite pieces too. We've, again, developed a method where we powder coat the whole wheel. We use the laser to cut in the pattern, in this case barbed wire. Then we, again, use the laser to lay the powder in to it. So it's not paint, it's a very durable powder-coated finished product.
Well, Kathy, most of the time when I think powder coating, I think metal, but we have a very unique piece. We have a glass bottle.
Right.
What do we have going on?
Well, oddly enough, this works into a lot of applications. My daughter's getting married soon. She's decided to use recycled wine bottles for her centerpieces. So instead of just spray painting them, being a powder coater, I powder coated the bottle and then used the laser to monogram them for her centerpieces.
The ideas and the possibilities are absolutely just endless in what you can do with the AP Laser.
Well, Kyle, what I love about the AP Laser is all the endless things you can do, and unlike a vinyl graphic that's going to fade and peel off, this is going to last forever.
Absolutely. You're marking the material permanently, and the great thing about the laser machine, again, is it can engrave nearly any material. We can also cut a lot of different materials, unlike 3D printing. And think about it this way, if you can create something on a 3D printer, we can mark it with the laser.
I'm telling you what, this is really impressive.
Well, I don't want to stop you right there, Tommy, but winter's coming, and I got something that I want you to remember us by.
A pair
Your
of
own
socks.
pair of socks.
Even does clothing. Man, this thing does everything. We got to take a break on Performance TV, but I'm going to go put my socks on. We'll be right back.
This edition of Performance TV, presented by ARP, is being brought to you by American Car Craft, custom stainless steel accessories, Tough Country, leveling kits and lift kits for all major brand trucks. Machinist Made Rust Freeze, stops rust in its tracks. And by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
Welcome back to Performance TV. Ow! How many times have you been in the shop cleaning a bolt, stuck your finger with a wire brush or a wire wheel? Well, it's your lucky day. On today's show, we got something that's going to make that a whole lot safer and a whole lot faster, so you can get rid of that. It's called the Thread Wizard. And I got Dustin here from Thread Wizard. I poke my finger all the time, or the bolts, you're trying to clean them up. It's a pain, and it takes a long time. You've got something that'll fix that.
Absolutely. You know, the three traditional ways would be solvents, wire brushes, or wire wheel grinders, which are just plain dangerous. The Thread Wizard gets rid of all of those and gives you a tool that's actually made for the purpose.
Right. It works very simple. It's very fast, and it's one of those ideas I thought, why didn't I think of that?
Absolutely. Our inventor, Gary Taylor, was cleaning a bolt on a wire wheel grinder, and the wire wheel grinder grabbed it and shot it into his chest. Well, he'd had that happen quite a few times in his 40 years as a mechanic, so he was finally tired of it, and he sat down and he came up with a solution. Even though this is a revolutionary new tool, the means by which it operates is actually quite simple. A round wire wheel brush sits inside the handle and protrudes into the size-specific holes. So when you turn a bolt through the holes, it removes any grime, grit, or surface rust from the bolt.
Well, show me how simple it is to use. You got a couple samples, got some dirty bolts.
Absolutely.
Let's see how easy it is to use. You can see all the stuff on the paper out and knocking all the grime out of it. What about Loctite? If it's got Loctite on a bolt?
Loctite, grime, grease, rust, anything that's fouling the bolt, this wheel will take off.
You were telling me about the zinc.
Absolutely.
Zinc bolt. To show how good it cleans and how good it works, you said it'll even take the zinc coating off of the bolt?
It will. We had a gentleman that was kind of skeptical about the power of the tool and whether or not it would really clean what he needed it to clean. So we actually just took a grade 8 bolt and ran it through. And as you can see, it literally strips the zinc coating right off the bolt.
Yeah. I mean, you can see how much stuff it took off here. Look at the piece of paper, all the stuff. You'll have a standard size, and then you have the metric as well.
Yes, we have standard and metric to cover all of your bolt needs. And I'd love to tell you how many bolts you can clean with one of these guys, but to be honest with you, our initial prototype still hasn't gotten worn out. And we've cleaned over 3,000 bolts with it. But when that day comes, we sell a kit replacing the 430 steel plates, the wire wheel brush, the nut, and the bolt, and you got a brand new tool in your hand.
You can rebuild it yourself.
Absolutely.
The one thing I like about it, you can hold it in your hand and use it,
Yep.
or you can also mount it in the vise.
Absolutely. We specifically designed the handle to be either handheld or vise mounted. If you're going to be cleaning a lot of bolts at once, just throw her on in the vise, tighten it up, and go to work.
Dustin, this is a really simple tool. You say it's made in USA?
Absolutely. It was invented in Fairbanks, Alaska, and it's made in Flora, Mississippi. We also source all of our parts right here in America.
It makes it way safer. You can keep your fingers out of the way is what I like. It's not gonna poke you, not gonna cut you, and I'm really unhappy I didn't think of it.
Absolutely. Well, we're here to bring it to you, and you can buy yours now at threadwizard.us.
Man, that's a really great tool. This should be in every shop out there. We got to take a break. We'll be back with more Performance TV right after this.
Time now for the OPGI Restoration Tip with George Lopez.
Nothing finishes up a convertible better than a convertible top boot. What I'm going to show you today is our convertible top boot installation for 68 through 72 GMA body. Now, most people think these cars need buttons when they buy our boots. They don't. GM did a very nice job at designing this to be very clean and not use ugly buttons going around the back of this convertible top molding. Now, the first step to installing the boot is with the top up. You have to slide the top boot in this rail that mounts behind the back of the rear seat. Once that rail is slid in, you can fold your top boot over your convertible top itself. Now, the cool thing about this design is it uses this plastic liner underneath that actually folds over underneath this convertible top molding to eliminate, like I said, of using any ugly buttons or any other type of fasteners or clips. Second thing you want to do is push this button in. It holds the front of your top boot in place. And this literally just folds underneath your convertible top molding. Now, it does help if you actually put this out in the sun a little bit. It helps it stretch out and makes it easier to work on, especially when they're brand new. It's a little bit more difficult, but you want them to be tight. And let me show you how this plastic liner goes underneath this molding here. Okay, so now just follow that to the other side of the car and you have your top installed. Sometimes an extra pair of hands does help. For more tips and tricks like this, visit opgi.com.
Performance TV, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Performance TV. You know, there are a lot of things that we see on vehicles we kind of take for granted, wonder where they come from. Well, one of those things would be like tire stickers. We have Jason joining us here today from Tire Stickers. There's a lot more to this than what I ever would have thought. Jason, can you kind of give us an idea? Where'd you guys get the idea for this?
Yeah, well, I race motorcycles, Kathy, and I got the idea from that. Really wanted that racy look. And so basically what we decided to do was offer a few different types of products, one temporary, one permanent.
I see a lot of different ways to really show off stuff and do things on tires, from logos, coming up with create your own, colors, full color. It's just kind of amazing all that you can do.
Yeah, I mean, the possibilities really are endless. We can do multicolor designs, we can do single color, we can do RFID, barcodes. There are a lot of different functions for this product that aren't only aesthetic, that are also functional.
Absolutely, and when you mention functional, just like a product that you have here, what's inside of that?
There's actually an RFID chip inside of here, and this is one of our products that we use to track inventory or store data.
Store data, so it's not just applying to, say, a tire, like our ATV tire that we have back here, your motorcycle tire, my drag slick, but a lot of companies are using them as well to mark their products.
Yes, many uses for this product.
All right, well, applying them is a lot simpler than what you think, and we're going to check in with Keith, and he's going to show us how. So I see we have a motorcycle tire here. Keith, you know, I'm seeing a lot of ribs and stuff like that. It's not like my drag slick.
Right.
You're going to have any problem with applying?
No, you know, the application can go on any tire. It doesn't matter if it has ribs or a smooth surface. We definitely recommend putting it onto the smooth surface on the tire.
Right.
Because the areas where there are raised rubber is going to cause a little bit more of a challenge.
What about the prep?
The prep is the most important part. It's just like painting anything. You need to clean off all the oil, all the grime, to make sure that the surface is clean and will accept the adhesive.
Good, let's go ahead and show us the
So
first step.
the first step is to start just with a basic degreaser and a Scotch-Brite pad. You want to clean it, scrub it up real nice, get off all the dirt and the oil, and you can see that stuff's coming off.
And the tire dressing,
instantly.
anything,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that's on there, and it gets caked in there, especially if you go to shows and you're putting on all that dressing. So then after you do that, you do want to sand it with light grit sandpaper, and that way there again, it just preps the surface and gets it nice and ready to accept the sticker. After you do that, you just take an alcohol, clean off all the dust came from the sanding, and then your surface is ready to accept the decal.
So we're going to do a couple of different applications on the motorcycle tire here to kind of show everything that you guys can
Right.
do. And one of them, it's almost like you can do a logo. This would be a temporary.
Yeah, this is ideal for car shows and races. This is meant to be short-term, kind of under 1,000 miles, just to get it on there and advertise something and get a look for a short term.
Okay.
And then it comes right off the tire. So as far as the application, it's a peel and stick adhesive. So you just peel off the back and you apply it to the area that you prepped the surface.
So we talked about taking off tire dressing, because you mentioned
Right.
car shows.
Right.
What about being able to put that tire dressing back over the top? Is it going to hurt anything?
Yeah, you know, again, the short-term product is designed just for a limited amount of time, so putting the dressing on it, it will accelerate the discoloration, and that's what happens after time. It'll start to turn brown. So putting it on is not a problem. It's just going to accelerate it a little bit.
So, you know, we see the logos, we see the lettering, but what about maybe just changing the look of the car with, instead of a white wall, what about a red wall?
Yeah, really we can do white wall, red wall, yellow wall. Again, the colors opportunities are endless. We can totally change the look of the vehicle. You could have white walls on there, and you could put a red wall over it. And that's possible, again, with both the short-term product as well as the long-term product.
Wow. So now this would be our temporary.
Correct.
And any different prep we need to do for the long term, or is identical?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same preparation process in terms of getting the tire clean, getting off all the oil and the dirt and the grime. And so as far as the application process for the permanent's like a raised rubber. You can see here that it's about a 1/2 millimeter thick, so it's very much like what's already on the tire from some of the tire manufacturers in terms of white lettering. And that, again, it's fully cleanable product, and you don't have to worry about the dressing. You can get that on there, and you just clean it off after you do put it on there.
So unlike the temporary that lasts up to 1,000 miles, this product needs to have an application put on the back, which would be...
Correct. Yep.
You mentioned with the temporary, up to 1,000 miles. What kind of lifespan are we looking at for your long term?
The permanent's designed to last the lifetime of the tire. And so if you're gonna get 60,000 on it, or some performance tires get 10,000 miles, it doesn't matter. You're gonna be able to get the full lifetime of the tire.
I mean, it's just wild what you can do. And not just tires, anything that would be a rubber type application, you'd be able to put the tire stickers on. Find out more, hop on their website at tirestickers.com, and we'll have more for you up next here on Performance TV.
This edition of Performance TV, presented by ARP, is being brought to you by Phone Power, Cleaning Equipment and Chemistry, Top Gun Customs, 4x4 Suspension Specialists, Economax, get better performance from your engine, and by Steel Rubber, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping.
When I first seen the car, I knew it was something special. This is a replica of the XJ13 that was built in the mid-1960s for the Le Mans race. They built two. There is one still in existence that's in the England Museum, and this is the replica of that car. We tried to do the body and paint as it would have been originally for the Le Mans race. It is a Brooklyn Greens outside color. The stripes, we try to mimic what would have been as far as a factory style race car theme. It didn't even make the race. The motor that they had built did not fit the class that they was running anymore. And so then it got pushed off to the side for several years. And then when they came out with the new V12 motor, they brought this car back out to debut that motor. The rivets we had to drill each hole because the original body was aluminum and it would have been riveted to the aluminum chassis. This is a fiberglass body. Each hole was hand drilled, and then each rivet was set up into like a pegboard style. Each rivet was painted, then hand set into the fiberglass to make it look as authentic as possible to the aluminum body. We pushed this project through the shop. There was 3 of us that was working on it, and we did it in 3 weeks, from body to paint.
Welcome back to Performance TV. Last week, Kelly from Tough Country joined us. You and Tommy put a lift kit on the truck that we have behind us. But what about folks who, they get their truck, it's got that stance to it, which looks really cool if you have a hot rod.
Correct.
But not on a truck. What can we do to help that out?
Yeah, last week we did a full 3.5-inch suspension system on the Ford, but you know, Tough Country, we've been doing this for 25 years, and we're proud to say that our product's 100% made in the USA. You know, but people have that stink bug or the hot rod look, if you will. We've designed, engineered and designed manufactured leveling systems to lift the front of the vehicle up so it's level with the back. One, it does 2 things. One, it allows the vehicle to have a one size larger tire, which people are trying, when they lift it, they're trying to accomplish at least a larger tire to make it look better.
Absolutely.
And the second hand, it makes it look better. I mean, people just like, you know, the look of the vehicle with a bigger tire and a level stance.
And I see a lot of the different parts that you have here for different makes and models.
Yeah, we carry them for Ford, Toyota, Dodge, Jeep, Nissan. We cover the full range. The first leveling system that was invented, we did in 1987 on a Ford F-250. So these are small and compact, but we also make them for the leaf-sprung vehicles as well. So we're proud to say that we were the originator of the leveling system.
Well, I know, you know, there's new models coming out all the time, but Tough Country's keeping up with that on, you know, the new Dodges, the old Dodges.
Absolutely. the biggest trend is trying to stay up on top of the trend. That's the hardest thing for us to do as a manufacturer, is to stay up on and we're able to do that by having good relationships with the people, the manufacturers and the auto dealers near to us. But we're proud to say that we've been doing this for 25 years, and we're proudly made in the USA.
And that is important. When we go to put something like this on, is it very time consuming?
No, the leveling kits are very simple to do. Generally, you can do them within an hour. Sometimes less, depending on what kind of tools you have, but very simple to do. We always keep that in mind when you're manufacturing and designing a system as ease of installation for the do-it-yourselfers. We just can't assume that a full-blown shop's doing the install. So we make it friendly for the do-it-yourself guy. And so, yeah, the product's very easy to install. Leveling kits, that's another great benefit, easy to install.
Easy to install, we do like to hear that. So once we have these on, now we've changed the look of our truck. Is it going to change anything else? Is it going to change the ride? Is it going to change the way it steers?
Nope, everything will come back into stock geometry as far as your alignment specs go, so it'll come into stock alignment specs. And the only thing that's going to change is your ride quality depending on what tire you put on it. If it's an aggressive mud tread, of course you're going to expect a little different ride, but you will come back into your stock specs as far as alignment goes.
Now, can we see all of these products on your website?
You can. If you go to toughcountry.com, you'll be able to find all of the products on there, as well as all of our dealers, where you can just go to the dealer section, you can find a dealer near to you where you can buy our product.
Well, Kelly, you mentioned that it's relatively easy to install, and just like we saw you and Tommy working on it last week.
Yeah, they're very simple to install. I mean, what we did last week was a 3.5 on the Ford, and it's about the middle range as far as hard to do, if you will. The leveling kits are very simple to do. The 3.5-inch to 4-inch kits, they're a little bit more intelligent. And we also carry all the way up to 6-inch lift kits, a suspension system as well. So there's a wide range, but every time our engineers develop a system, always keep it in mind the end user, the ease of installation, because that can be the tough thing to do. So that's a big emphasis on us, is making sure that one, quality product at an affordable price and easy to install.
Yes, the only thing tough about Tough Country is how tough your product is. It's not anything to do with installing. So leveling kits and your lift kits from 2 inches to 6 inches. So as you like to say, from mild to wild. Kelly, thanks so much for joining us this week. And that's all we have time for here this time around on Performance TV. We'll see you next week.